right, nice job. Good set. Let's do some social kick.
Let's do it.
We're live. Welcome back to the Social Kick Podcast. I'm Brian Lundquist. We got a full crew in Luke's backyard again today. Luke Paddington, Dr. John Mullen. And we're talking to ISL coach Bob Platt. What's up, Bob?
Hey guys, how are you?
Doing great.
Awesome.
Outdoors. We both got skylights or string lights up. It's quite the environment. So what's going on in your world, Bob? Where are you?
I am in Phoenix, Arizona. I'm in a neighborhood called Arcadia. Just kind of hanging out. I have the afternoon off, which is quite nice.
And what sort of hydration you got tonight?
Unfortunately, I have vitamin water zero.
Unfortunately.
What a plug for them.
Exactly. Yeah.
I'm joining you in the non-alcoholic realm tonight. I'm drinking a beer from Athletic Brewing. There's pretty good brand that's making these non-alcoholic beers. But this is the kind of Mexican lager, so Cerveza Atletica.
If it'll make you feel better, I can walk into my pantry and I can grab some vodka.
I think we should mix it up.
Yeah, I think you ought to do that.
Because this Mexican bear might pick a fight with that Mexican bear. That's what's going to happen. Because this is...
I don't care much about that Mexican beer. What's that?
It's Modelo Especial. It's fine. It's solid. It's just to keep you hydrated, and then you jump onto other good stuff, I would say.
So many people drinking Modelo in California. I don't know. I'm a Budweiser guy. What do you got, John?
Something Luke gave me that clearly he picked out for the photo. It's like I don't even know, Maserati or something on here called Citra and Citra Lupo Max TM. Citra is my vice.
Oh, there you go.
So it's a hazy IPA. It's not too bad, but
It was a photograph, okay? I'm sorry.
Bring this guy in.
That makes me wonder. I wonder what the party seems like celebrating after ISL meets. That had to take you back to college parties a bit.
Definitely. I mean, after the championship last year, I mean, they Energy Standard seemed to be going pretty nuts on deck, having a good time. And we talked about that last season of ISL, how the international athletes maybe had never had that college experience. So this might be kind of their having that big team and, whole group environment.
Do we know who the youngest athlete in the league is?
I don't know, but I do know that if they are 18 years old or younger, they basically have to receive special permission to participate.
Got it.
Are
there any people under 18?
I don't know, but on DC Trident, there are not.
Okay. Was Malik under 18 last year? The center flyer from Hungary? Or
I think so. I think he was like 17. Yeah.
No. But yeah.
Actually, I don't know.
Is that 50 breaststroker? Where is she from? There's a female 50. Is she in the league? Any idea?
There was one from Turkey. There's one from Greece, maybe. That's 50. Yeah, Greece. I don't know. I don't know if she's on Energy Standard or not.
Yeah, it literally is changing every day, isn't it? Because the Aussies dropping out, they had to replace all the Aussies. A lot of new English people came in, and some more athletes dropped out. Some people from Italy dropped out. 5 athletes from Italy dropped out today or something. So, I mean, do you suspect any of your athletes are in jeopardy of not participating? Have you heard anything, or so far it's stable?
There were 2 Aussies that dropped out, and Caitlin and Cindy had, I think, 2 hours and 15 minutes to replace them.
Why was there a deadline? Why was it?
I can't tell you why there was a deadline. All I know is we were all texting back and forth, and the Aussies pulled out. I think that had to do with jeopardizing whether they would be able to return home or not.
Mm-hmm.
And so all I know is that's what they had. They basically had 2 hours and 15 minutes to fill the spot.
Wow.
How does the GM and the head coach select their athletes? They didn't give me a call.
They've seen all your time. So.
Yeah, I will talk to them about that. I'm really sorry.
Every country drops out. Luke is ready.
They've seen how slow you social kick. That's what it is.
That should be a skins event. The slowest kick. Come on.
That's awesome. I think they do their research like everybody else does and figure out what athletes have not been signed yet or been asked. There is quite a bit of kind of going on behind the scenes and trying to see who is interested, who is retired, who isn't retired. I believe that it's a little bit different this year, where last year the GMs had the ability to pay the athletes different rates. This year, everybody's being paid the same.
Yeah.
And so it kind of evened the playing field a little bit. But basically, Caitlin and Cindy had some people helping them, including the assistant coaches. And basically we're looking at world rankings, looking at who was available, who's 18 and over, not in college, and just saying, okay, who in all these various events. Some people were signed last year and stayed on, and then some spots opened up this year. And so they would go through and say, okay, we need a 200 flyer, for example, and then look at who was available really, and then contact them and see, if they were interested or not. I think more than anything, Cindy and Caitlin were really cognizant of not just getting fast swimmers, but really it was about who fit into the team culture, and the team culture being one of, more than anything, they want to have a great time. They want everybody to feel valued. They, really value inclusion and diversity. And so they just made a conscious effort to go after people that were not only fast swimmers, but good people and who contributed to the team culture.
With that, you said a lot of swimmers are dropping out from Australia. The CEO came out with a statement. I thought it was a pretty harsh statement, saying that, hey, these countries are kind of bullying the swimmers and things like that into not competing and things according to that. Did you read that statement? And what were your thoughts when that came out?
I have to be honest and tell you, I did not read the statement. I do know that there were, obviously, across the board, there are safety concerns, right? There's safety concerns with what's going on with COVID, and every country, every swim federation is handling it differently. I think more than anything, every country is focused on really the health and well-being of their athletes. And in doing so, obviously, the COVID infection rate may be different in different states. It's also different in different countries. And I think that they're trying to safeguard, much like the NBA and much like anybody else, they are doing, with operating within a bubble. And so if Swim Australia says this is the rules we're playing by, then everybody has to do that. So, I don't know. I don't really have an opinion because I don't feel like I'm as educated as I probably need to be on that. But I will tell you that that's kind of the reasoning, is really what they believe to be the safety of their athletes.
Do people know who Bob Platt is, and how we talk about athletes getting selected, but talk about coaches getting selected and your pedigree? So you started off in Philadelphia, right? And coaching in Philadelphia with Germantown, and then you became a head coach at your own club for a number of years. In 2004, you moved out to Scottsdale, and you're at Scottsdale. Talk a bit about your history, and quite frankly, why did you get selected as assistant coach of an ISL team? Straight up.
Oh, you impressed me. Somebody did their homework and read my bio on Scottsdale Aquatic Club, huh?
Dave Wharton, man. Big swimmer back in the day. Yeah.
Did you say Dave Wharton?
Yeah, he was one of your swimmers, right? Kind of, back in the day.
Dave is one of my very good friends. Let's see. I will go back. I grew up probably like most people, started swimming summer club, started lifeguarding. And while I was lifeguarding, I was giving swim lessons and coaching summer rec. I went to the University of Maryland and then transferred to Temple University. While I was at Temple University, I got involved with what's called the Magic Kingdom College Program. I worked at Walt Disney World for a year. And when I got back from that, I had a year left, and I literally just happened to run into a mom that was on the board of our summer swim club. She asked me if I was interested in coaching swimming. And outside of Philadelphia, basically all of the school districts are townships, and every school district has an indoor pool. Right. And there's a league. And so like Maddie Crippen, an Olympian, David Burkhoff, David Wharton, the list goes on and on. It's a very, believe it or not, very competitive league. And so I started coaching one of those teams. And then Schulberg actually asked if I was interested in coaching with him. I coached with Schulberg from 1989 to 92. And during that time, really great experience. We put 4 guys on our Olympic team.
Who was it? Wharton, Burkhoff, Namesnick?
No, it wasn't Namesnick. Namesnick is from Butler, Pennsylvania, which is out near Pittsburgh. No, it was Dave Wharton, David Burkhoff, Sean Killian, Dan Jurgensen. And Sean Killian actually was my roommate for 2.5 years leading up to the 92 Olympics. And I probably learned more about coaching by living with Sean as a distance athlete and seeing what it took firsthand to not only be the best in the country, but one of the best in the world. After 92, basically Schulberg was like, hey, look, you're ready to go on your own. I became a head coach for 12 years at what was called Spirit Swimming. and did everything that I could do there. It was a relatively small team, but we were very fortunate, had some success. And then in 2004, my partner graduated from med school, from residency. And I said, I'll go anywhere you want. And we looked in a little bit in Florida, in Vegas, and landed in Phoenix. Moved out here in 2004, and I wanted absolutely nothing to do with the sport.
Ooh.
And I stepped away from it for a year and thought, what is the most mindless job that I can do that has a direct benefit? And so I worked at Crate and Barrel for a year because we had just purchased our first home. So I furnished the house at a discount by working at Crate and Barrel. And then actually 1 mile from my house was a YMCA that opened up with an outdoor 50-meter pool. I was supposed to be coaching 2 days a week, which became 4 days a week, which became doubles, and eventually became the aquatic director and then director of senior program director. So I got sucked back into it. And then we moved from one side of Phoenix to the other in 2010. And Kevin Zachary, who's the head coach at Scottsdale Aquatic Club, found out I was in the area and asked me to come on staff. And I put him off for a year and said no. And then eventually joined the coaching staff in 2012. I was his assistant with the national group for 3 years, and then became the director of operations. So the director of operations and an assistant with the national group. So it's kind of my long story short.
And Cindy reached out to you last year. You said, no, I'm not going to be a coach of ISL. And eventually you turned around and you decided to do it. Is that your modus operandi?
Yeah. So basically throughout my career, I've been really fortunate to be involved with some really successful athletes. And in doing that, they go to college and you start to know the college coaches. And Cindy, I have known for, I don't even know, probably 30 years, 25 years. And so Amy Bilquist, who is on DC Trident, I have been involved with her career since she was 7 years old. She signed this year with DC. She was talking to Caitlin and to Cindy, and they were talking about assistant coaches. And Amy said, you should ask Bob. And Cindy said, oh my God, I didn't even think about that. Do you think you'd be interested? So she called me, and right away I said I was interested, but I needed to run it by Kevin. And prior to starting to work with Kevin, I met with him and basically said, okay, these are my conditions. I want to be able to travel. I don't want to work Saturdays, and I don't want to go to meets all the time. Well, yeah, that lasted about a month. And then I got stuck back in, and Kevin said, this is a great opportunity, take it. And so he gave me his blessings and said, we'll make it work, go. So really, from day one, the first time I asked him, he's like, absolutely, you should do this. It's great for your career, be a great experience. I want you to do it. And has been nothing but supportive.
Because it is a commitment, huh? It's 5 weeks in Budapest. You're going to be spending.
Especially this year.
Yeah, it's not
a commitment, but
it's not 5 weeks.
It's not 5 weeks, kid. We leave on October 10th, and we get back at the earliest we get back is November 23rd.
Wow,
okay. That's not 5 weeks. That's 5 weeks in dog years.
Yeah. Exactly. So it is a big commitment, and that takes you, I think, through semifinals. That's not even finals. That's basically the end of kind of match play.
What's been the best part of the experience thus far?
Getting to know Caitlin. I didn't know her previously, so that has been, wonderful. She is absolutely amazing. She is a stud in every sense of the word.
Yeah.
Great. More than, the swimming success is wonderful, but she's a great human being. Really. And then, kind of slowly learning all the athletes and kind of their backgrounds and how this league works. And, it's just such a great concept. I feel bad in a way that because of COVID, the fans won't get to experience the way that it was last year. And when I say that, I mean, it is very fan friendly, and they really tried to implement and improve and evolve the league this year. And I think they made some great improvements, but unfortunately, fans won't get to witness it live. They'll get to witness it through CBS Sports, which has picked it up and is covering all of the matches live, but they won't get to see it, in person.
And that's too bad because, Budapest and Hungary has such a strong swimming following. When I was there for the World Championships, that place was packed. It's a beautiful venue there. So it's too bad that the, audience won't be there. So how do you think it will be swimming a meet with no fans at the arena?
Well, I think first of all, it's going to be strange. It's like you said, I happened to be there last summer with the World Junior team I was there with the U.S. team for the World Junior Champs, and beautiful facility. The people couldn't have been any more accommodating and nice and gracious and welcoming. I think it's going to be a little bit strange, but at the same time, everybody that's involved with the league, they're professionals, and so they get what it's about, and I think they'll raise to the occasion. I think that it's terms of the fanfare, I don't know. We're gonna have to get over there and see what it's like. Hopefully they have the jumbotrons and things like they're doing with the NBA and hockey and everything else. But we'll see.
How much can Luke pay to get his face on a screen at the stadium?
It happened in the Olympics, the Rio Olympics. My face got on the screen.
No, but you're just gonna be like the NBA. You're gonna be the big head, like close, just like you're gonna pay $100 to have your face just in the background, picking your nose, drinking a beer.
But the experience of the audience is not going to be messed with at all. Because honestly, I remember we kept saying, well, where's the audience? The live audience. So the live audience in the stands. I think us watching it, we're going to have the same experience as we did.
Yeah, which was great.
I mean, on TV, you guys are pumped. The athletes are pumped on deck. They were so excited. We got excited. The DJ, the lights and stuff. We weren't affected by empty stands or not. Do you think we would be?
No, and also we're talking about the Olympics coming up, and I have a hard time believing that the Olympics would go on if fans couldn't be in the stands. But that said, I think that you could have the Olympics with fans not in the stands, and as long as you create the right team environment on deck, the fans in the stands don't really matter. It's like at an elite college meet, you could cut the tension with a knife, and it wouldn't matter what's going on anywhere except for the pool deck. I think it'd be cool if the ISL got to the point that, and I think that ISL does a great job at having all the teams clustered in a team area, and they're raucous and they're into it and cheering, and like that actually matters. It moves you as an athlete in the pool. And I think as camaraderie and like teamsmanship starts to really take off in the ISL, then I think that the swimmers will feed off of that even more, and perhaps there will be a learning in that regard this season.
Brian, I swam in Canada. Nobody went to our swim meets. I know what it's like.
Any meet that I've seen, like a live stream in Montreal,
nobody goes to swim meets in Canada.
Yeah.
And I swam look how famous I am, how well I swam, right?
But peer motivation is one of the biggest motivators. I mean, internal and peer motivation. Yeah. Obviously, pro athletes, it gets a little bit different when there's financial incentives involved, but I mean, God, if you have all these great athletes there cheering you on and pushing you, I think there's going to be some fast swims still. I just think it's going to be a little bit different when they get on deck the first time, but once they get going, it's going to be fun. And as, like you said, a viewer, it's going to be good, and hopefully it keeps going on.
What does it mean to be an assistant coach of DC Trident then, Bob? I mean, how that's difficult to, how involved are you going to be with the athletes besides a relationship and meeting and stuff? How involved you are in that training and getting to know these athletes? Describe that dynamic. It's difficult, right? You're close to a couple of them, but others, these are new kids to you.
Yeah, I mean, first and foremost, it means a great deal to me to have the opportunity. I mean, I'm really, as I said, I'm really honored and really pleased that, Cindy asked me, Caitlin agreed to it, and Susan Teeter, who has been a lifelong friend of mine, she is also an assistant coach. So obviously the coaching staff gets along really, really well. Amy Bilquist, again, I told you I've known her since she was 7 years old. So I will be acting as her home coach anyway.
Right.
The workouts. Our role is to basically help out wherever is needed. These guys are professionals. Most of them, pretty much all of them are post-grads. They don't need their hands held. But at the same time, if they need us to run their workout, I'm assuming they're going to be getting them from their home coaches. If they need us to write up the workout, we're willing to do that and happy to do that. If they just need us to administer a workout that's being given to them, or if they just need us to get pace, whatever role the athletes need us to play to support their success is what we're there for. And that's what I'm there for, So it'll be interesting. You guys spoke a little bit about last year. I mean, one of the things that's quite different is we are operating very much in a bubble. I mean, we will either be at the pool or we will be on Margaret Island. We will not be permitted to go anywhere else, at least for the foreseeable future. When we get there, we are quarantined for 4 days, basically in our rooms, and tested twice before we can even start to train or to go to the pool. So it is quite different than last year. In a way, I think that will make it so that the athletes actually everybody becomes closer because you're literally going to be spending at least 6 weeks with everybody together. So I think you're going to see everybody supporting each other, although they may be on different teams. Everyone's going to be supporting each other. I know that there are some athletes on other teams that I know quite well, and if they need help, I'm happy to do it. Even though I'm not their coach, if I'm there and they need help, I'm happy to do it.
Bob, do you know what the communication is like with the athletes, and also how the selection process is influenced by how much they're prioritizing being fast for this ISL season? And I say that because last year we saw sort of a mix of, athletes and teams whose roster looks really, really good on paper, but you might not have seen the best result from that team because you could tell people were deep in training, or others were really fresh. And so I'm just curious about what impact that has and what the communication is like, so kind of setting expectations.
I can't speak for any other team other than DC Tridents, and I know that both Caitlin and Cindy have worked really hard to put together a team that is ready to go. And when I say ready to go, I mean, obviously the X factor in all this is COVID. There were so many people that were out of the water for so long, and even if they were in the water, some were just sporadic in their training. I don't know how much you know about the format this year with the jackpot times. And
yeah, I know. Yeah.
You can get penalized. So nobody wants to get penalized because they're swimming poorly. So obviously, I'm sure each coach asks the athletes, hey, where are you in your training? Are you ready to go? Are you excited to do this? And more importantly, are you ready to swim fast? It's not going to do the general manager and the head coach any good to bring an athlete that is great on paper but hasn't been training for 6 months and is going to cost the team points. So really they're trying to put together the best team possible that can perform at their best.
Do you think that has a recipe for some potential conflict if you've got athletes who are planning to do some big sets and you're administering that during the week, and then they come to the meet and then it's like, well, no wonder you're dead?
Of course it does. Of course it has the potential for that. But at the same time, you've got to trust that these people are, professionals in what they're doing, and they're being honest when they are asked what kind of shape they're in, where they are, and if they're prepared to swim fast. Let's be honest. We're going to be there for 6.5 weeks, almost 7 weeks. I'm going to go back to Amy Bilquist. I was talking with her, and we said it is just unrealistic that every single weekend she is going to be able to swim fast and be at her best, right? You're not going to hold a taper for 7 weeks. You just can't do that, So really it was sitting down and saying, okay, how do you cycle your training, your rest, and everything to allow you to perform at your best and peak when you need to peak? And so I believe that the athletes that have been selected for DC Trident are ready to do that and preparing to do that.
Yeah, it's really interesting. You're bringing up just like the cycles and trying to pinpoint exactly when people are peaking and things like that. So as a coach, like you said, the other athletes are coming in with their own programs a lot of times. Do you communicate with their home coaches about what you guys are trying to do? Or is that just kind of offhand? Once again, you're just trying to administer, just trying to facilitate, and what happens, happens?
As an assistant coach, that's not my role. I'm not communicating with the athletes and the coaches. That is something that Cindy, as the head coach, is responsible for doing. I'm not. Like I said, I'm there to support, whatever they need. I do know that, as Cindy is selecting, the team, and as Caitlin are selecting the team, they obviously are asking for feedback from us as assistant coaches. What do you know about them? Do you know them personally? Do you know how they train? Do you know what they're like as people? I'm sure that with every athlete that is on the team, first and foremost, like I said, they're making sure they're good people. They're excited to be part of the team, and that they're prepared to go fast. And in being prepared, that means, have they done the work, and are they still doing the work to go fast over there? So I'm pretty sure that if, the coaching staff knew that an athlete's been out of the water or not been training and not prepared to swim fast when needed, then they probably weren't selected.
How much do you think that being so close in the same environment, like you mentioned, being in a bubble, getting to know all these other athletes, You think that's going to impact the results that we see by some different sorts of lineup strategy, getting to know what the ins and outs of each team is doing on a daily basis?
It must.
Absolutely. I mean, first of all, you guys know, I mean, the rosters are limited, right? I mean, you can't fill every single spot with a stud. It just isn't. It isn't for when I say a stud, you can't fill it for, you know, the best 50 freestyler in the world isn't going to be on every single team when there's 10 different teams, right? So there is a little bit of gamesmanship, and there's also, you know, you're picking people that have versatility that can fill in where it needs to be. You know, I know that last year they were talking about Zane Grothy, and Zane Grothy, they said, is just, I don't know him. And they said, he's awesome. And they said, you know, they needed somebody to do the 400 IM. He's like, yeah, sure, I'll do the 400 IM. So, you know, pretty much everybody's a team player, and they step up and they get it done. So
we had Amy on our show. We had your athlete Amy on the show, and I swear she said she wants to do 100 breaststroke.
Yeah, I heard that.
Yeah, she definitely wants to do breaststroke.
She said her shins are real ready for a lot of breaststroke
those 15
training.
fractures are fine.
Her and JR have been doing a lot for it.
Yeah, we're good.
Who is this?
Amy.
She said her and JR are getting ready for 100 breast.
Clearly, you have never seen her do breaststroke. Like a sea turtle.
Exactly.
Shin splint like that. Instantaneous shin splint.
Yeah. No way. She'll be in practice and she'll be like, yeah, watch this. And she'll be like, no, no, not at all. So
yeah, no, Zane, I overlapped with Zane a bit when I was at Auburn. He's a good guy.
Yeah, I'm really looking forward to meeting everybody. Honestly, I mean, I'm really looking forward to having a great experience. And, you know, part of you, just like with you guys, part of doing this and part of, you know, really enjoying the sport are the athletes and getting to know them and getting to know their personalities and what makes them tick. And, you know, if you look at it, it's like the last athlete that was just picked up for DC Tridents was Lee Gingrich. You know, and Lee is what, 30?
60 retired, right? She stopped.
Yeah, 31 years old. You know, she actually swam in the same LSC where I coached outside of Philadelphia. I knew her coach, but I don't know her. But I'm excited to meet her and find out kind of what makes her tick, what made her get back into it. And everybody's got a story. So I'm really looking forward to it. And, you know, especially because we have quite a few international athletes on the team. So that always adds a different flair. And I'm really looking forward to that as well.
Bob, I want to go through the roster, but I do have one guy for you. He's been retired for a while. He was the American record holder in the 50 fly until some guy called Dressel beat it. His name is Lundquist, Brian. Retired a couple of years, still training. You know, maybe look into it.
Come on, give me a hookup with Caitlin. I know Cindy.
There you go.
You know what's weird about that is I'm going to use my memory bank here, but I don't know Lundquist, but I do believe he's from Georgia. And I think his former club coach was one of my roommates at the OTC if he swam for Ian.
Get out of here, really?
Boom.
Wow.
Oh yeah. Am I pulling that out of my
No, that's true.
Yes, I know. And so actually, yeah, I don't know. You know, Ian doesn't have the great things to say. We'll see.
Well, I'm sitting around drinking non-alcoholic beer, not doing anything.
18-mile runs. What's wrong with you?
You know, he got the injury report. He knows I rolled my ankle yesterday.
Yeah. Ian kept saying, he's like, if he would only use his talent, how good he is.
What's that Pan Am game shirt you have on?
That sounds like him. Yeah, I wanted to wear my Pan Am shirt tonight.
I'm pretty sure, if memory serves me correct, you were on an international trip with Scott Goodrich too.
Yeah, we went to World University Games together.
Oh, yes, I know.
Maybe we should get into the details of that trip.
Was that one trip?
It was. See, yeah, take another swig of that drink before I.
Exactly. It's non-alcoholic.
You gotta grab that vodka for that one, right? That's a trip down that fun lane.
Yeah, Brian's sitting here regretting he had me onto this show. I know I knew that much about him.
Not at all. There are world-class current USA team members who were on that trip and were had some issues.
Had some stories.
That's what I heard.
Do you want to start going through the roster?
Yeah, let's go through the roster. And you know what? There's some names there that all four of us may not know, but that's why we love swimming, because we're going to get to know them really well.
Exactly. And the teams are so deep with now the 2 extra teams this year and Australia dropping out, new people going in. It's going to be a great way to learn. And we admit we learned a lot of international people last time from the ISL.
So the first athlete I think that you guys haven't recruited is her. there's no reason why a general manager can't swim, in my opinion.
Oh, Natalie swam last time, right?
Yeah, but she's a GM. Yeah, exactly. Caitlin's the same era. So anyway, let's jump on to Zach.
Zapple.
Well, yeah, I think this is a huge pickup for DC this year. Zach, I'll be interested to see how he does in skins, but being a great rangy sprinter from the 50 up to the 200, I think that Apple's got a lot of application in DC and obviously a lot of versatility in a format like this where you're looking for somebody who can swim multiple events, who can kind of slot in a lot of different places.
Yeah.
And so I think, application as a sprinter as well as, all the way up to longer relays.
Does he do any strokes?
I don't think so.
Coach, any comments on Zach?
I don't personally know him, but I can find out really quickly. I brought my little cheat sheet here.
There you go. I don't remember seeing him doing anything, but like you said, he goes 50 to 200.
Yeah, and there were times, last year,
Yeah.
I think, where he was setting world best times in the 100 free long course. So,
Yeah.
I mean, and he's one of split 46 on the relays before. I just think that's a huge pickup.
Great
Again, really interested to see how he can stack up back-to-back 50s.
So Brian, you brought up the skins, but don't make the assumption that it's going
It's
to
freestyle.
freestyle.
Yeah, it's
all right, fair
it's the
enough,
winner
yeah,
of the
that's right.
medley relay gets to
Right.
decide the stroke of the skins.
Right. So it's different than last year. So
Right.
theoretically, whoever wins, they could say, you know what, we're doing skins and it's brushstroke. So Zach may not be the one that's doing it.
No
So-
quiz to this.
I can break him in.
No, Zane Groove.
I mean, like you said, while we're on the rule changes, I know you mentioned the jackpot swims, but I'm not sure if anyone can explain it concisely or if everyone knows what that is. So I'm going to put.
Oh,
You
go
wanna-
ahead. I was gonna say, my intuition is if the winner beats the second place winner by a set time that ISL have in a chart,
Yep.
then all of the points goes to that winner's team
Yeah.
of the whole event.
It's
Is
a
that
percent-
correct?
And it's like a percent of the world record. Is that how they're
Like
figuring
it's
it
a
out?
0.85 and a 53.
Okay.
For the men, it's 0.85. For the women, it's 0.95.
Right. That's
Okay.
a significant win that you're gonna have to do. I mean,
Right. I'm assuming that the reason they did this is because of what you guys talked about earlier, where last year you had some athletes who were obviously really, I don't want to say in great shape, but they were peaking for ISL. And then you had other athletes that were participating and just using it as kind of a, test run because they were training through it.
that's what I would do.
The idea is that they're trying to make it so that everybody is all in for this. And one way to make sure is your team gets penalized if you're not performing. That's my assumption. I can't say that for sure, but just kind of reading through the literature, that's what it appears to be.
It's a significant drop off the first and second place. I don't think we saw anybody like that. Only PD and Dressel might have something like that, right?
And it goes all the way down to 8 places, right, where you can steal their points from.
Yes.
Jackpot swims. Right? I'm trying to think what swimmer and what event is like can get the biggest gain from.
Dressel and PD. Ledeki's not there anymore.
It's the short course meters again.
Yes. Short course meters.
He wasn't killing people short course meters.
I don't think he was ready for it.
I mean, I'm trying to think. So Dressel, yeah, he's a big one. I'm trying to think of one event though. 53, I guess. Unless Manadoo is up there again. Who'd you say? So strong?
Yeah.
And what? Hunter Fly?
Yeah. Well, no. Yeah, Hunter Fly. And then I was going to say like Kate Campbell, depending on the matchup.
She's not in it, right?
Not in it.
Yeah, not in it. So,
Yeah.
like I said, there's so many little changes here and there.
yeah.
I'm trying to think who else has been.
A lot of it depends on the matchup too, how much you would weight it. Like there is a competitor in the league that's on par, but maybe not on the opposite team.
Yeah, that's true. It's going to be very matchup dependent, that's for sure.
Let's look at some of the athletes again. Let's
All
go
right.
to
Let's go.
Bailey Anderson. I'm not aware of Bailey.
This is what I know about her. I don't know her personally. I know that she swam at the University of Denver. She's Canadian, and I only know that she swam there because I have an athlete that is a 200 breaststroker at University of Denver, and then I believe she transferred for her senior year to Indiana with Ray Luz, and excelled quite well.
Oh, great.
We're in Canada, Luke. You
Canadian-
know everyone from Canada.
Yeah, I don't know. Not many Canadians
Well, she's
swim
used to
in.
swimming with no fans.
I know, but not many
There
Canadians
we
swim
go.
in the States. They like to stay in Canada. So I'll tell you
Yeah,
that.
well, that's not necessarily true considering Taylor Ruck grew up at Scottsdale, and then just coincidentally, Canada happened to like pull her away. So Yeah, she may be Canadian by birth, but she's just as much American as anybody else.
There you go.
Could be a few Olympus-comers that you say that for, right?
Hey, I'm part Canadian too. Boom. Good done. All right.
All right.
So I don't know Emma Box. Emma Boxon, who's this?
She swam at the University of South Carolina, I believe, 400.
All right.
Maybe a breaststroke also. Yeah, again, somebody from Scottsdale Aquatic Club swam at the University of South Carolina, is good friends with her. That's kind of what I know about her.
Nice.
Oh, that's great.
Yeah, I'm not familiar at all.
I no idea who this is. She gets injured.
You
She has
what?
nice dogs. She has good
Yeah,
dogs.
is JR keeping her healthy? Is she doing
Yeah, how's she
better?
doing?
Who? Amy?
Yeah.
Yeah,
She's doing great.
good.
Yeah, we enjoyed meeting her.
Yeah,
Big
she
time.
was a great dog.
She is training very well. I am very, Kevin's doing an amazing job with her. She's happy. She's swimming well and she's swimming fast.
So Amy's pretty versatile. What events do you see her doing the best in ISL?
I think she will go. She has the range to go 50, 100, 200 free. She would kill me for saying 200 free. I guarantee you she won't do it, but she can. I mean, what has she been? 141 and 140, at Cal. And then 50, 100, 200 back.
Yeah, 6 events. That's pretty good.
So she'll do. She's a team player. She will do whatever the coaches need. She's ready to go. Like I said, she's fit. She's I don't know, pleased with how she's training.
Excellent. Can't wait.
We got
Israeli, right? Yeah, I don't know. He was a relatively late pickup as far as I know. I don't know him.
Yeah, those who are watching, DC Trident did a nice Instagram profile on each of these athletes, give a little background between each of them. So that's why I learned he's Israeli. Katrin Delmer, a German who swims at.
So I got a text last week from, again, an athlete who is a senior at Ohio State who,
That's right.
Our swim team, Scottsdale Aquatic Club, put something out about Amy and put something out on the Instagram about myself. And so the athlete that is at Ohio State immediately texted me and said, "Oh my God, my best friend is this person and you will love her. She's from Germany, but she's one of the nicest people you'll meet." So actually, I'm very much looking forward to meeting her.
Nice.
Again, it speaks to the culture that Caitlin and Cindy are creating at DC Trident, which is all about chemistry and really super athletes. That's
Absolutely. 100%. Yep.
All right.
DeVine, Stanford stud, man.
Abram Divine.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Scott, what do you know about Abram?
Obviously I am training with David Marsh at Team Elite, and he's ready to go. Very excited about it. Caitlin and Cindy, I don't know Abram, but Caitlin and Cindy have nothing but great things to say about him and said he was a great team player.
Yeah, I'm intrigued to see what he does. I mean, obviously he had
Been quiet for a
2
while.
years ago. Yeah, it was really on the rise, tearing it up. Then it was quiet with some different stuff in the news about him. But I'm intrigued to see if he can help out with at the Olympics, the U.S. IMs, and obviously this is this platform to continue that.
Absolutely.
Yeah, I am too. I mean, like I said, everything I've heard about him is wonderful, and I'm looking forward to him performing well.
Mm-hmm.
Can't wait. This guy tore it up last ISL.
Yeah.
I mean, he dominated some of those breaststrokes, man.
Who is that?
Infinity.
Yes. Again, Caitlin and Cindy have wonderful things to say. They're really excited about him this year and feel like he's going to really step up and perform well and be a team leader, second year with the team. So
Yeah. Absolutely.
I think they're really ready to lean on and hoping to lean on the athletes that are returning for their second year. They obviously know the team culture, Madison Kennedy, Giles Smith,
team captain, vice captain.
Captain and vice captain.
Yeah.
I actually, I've run into Giles being in Phoenix, but I don't know him, but I texted him 2 days ago, just reached out proactively about COVID and testing, because the testing here in Phoenix is a little bit tricky and what we need to do before we go in. I just reached out and said, "Hey, look, what are you doing for your testing? Here's what I know." And he was so polite and so professional in his response to me, and said, the last thing he said is, "Really looking forward to working together successfully." And I thought, what a great way to
Nice attitude.
introduce yourself to somebody just so, like I said, so professional, so nice. So anyway, I'm really looking forward to it.
Totally. Bethany.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, another versatile swimmer, that's for sure.
Yeah. I mean, I'm sure she'll step into whatever role is needed, whatever Cindy and the staff need, but definitely a gamer too.
How long till we see skins of 4 a.m. 200 breaststroke, something like that? Looking at some of these athletes, I'm just like, who would do well out of skins like that? How much rest get in between? I don't know.
Zane would be sending increments.
This is a man who came from a program that gave athletes 16,000 IM.
Like,
so we know that.
And they'll be all right. That's for sure.
He's good.
Yeah, really. I mean, I was going to say you're preaching to the choir. I was actually having a conversation with somebody yesterday. We were talking about it. We were saying that if we want USA Swimming to continue to perform well in distance events, we want to see colleges go where the mile and the 400 IM and the 800 free relay are double points. Put an emphasis on them and watch how quickly you start seeing people train for those events. And then because of that, how much in USA Swimming those events, popularity and importance go up.
I think he just broke Brian's heart. He's just like, whoa,
No,
double
I think we gotta
points.
treat it like divers, where distance swimmers count as a half.
Wow. Listen, talk to me. Talk to me when you perform without a super suit, all right?
Hey, listen, man, I've at least split 134 on a relay and textile.
Did you run the first 25?
That's what relay starts off.
Some big blocks, man.
There you go. Longer block.
No, but to your point, Pursley did put $1 million bounty on a first gold medal for the U.S. in the mile back in the
Bounty
2000s.
sounds so negative.
It's a bounty, dude. you win the mile for the U.S. and you get us up $1 million by Pursley. Remember that? Anyway.
Yeah.
All right, let's bring up Ali Gaia. New Zealand, right?
Swam at Kentucky. Is training currently in New Zealand. I saw her Instagram when she took it over, so definitely I love her personality and looking forward to working with her and meeting her.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Gotta get some Kiwis there. They're tough.
She's good. She's competitive.
I bet. We love Margo.
Yeah. Again, one of the athletes that Caitlin and Cindy are extremely excited about to have onto the team. And, obviously she brings depth to the relays, individual performance, but definitely elevates, not only the female relays, but also mixed gender relays. So really looking forward to having her on.
And leadership as well. She's experienced.
Yep. Yeah.
Margo has one of the most beautiful freestyles I've ever seen.
Yeah, I agree.
Also, talk about her, the same comment about Ian Finnerty. I feel like both with Margo and Ian, they've got, they haven't quite, I don't feel like we haven't seen the best of them. I feel like I wouldn't be shocked if they both made the Olympic team. In fact, I'd certainly hope that they both could. And I think that we've seen some highlights and some flashes of brilliance. I mean, but I don't think that we've seen the top of what they're capable of.
Certainly hope so. Yeah, we enjoyed it, man.
Well, she certainly performed well, at U of A, right, in the college format. And so this, obviously it doesn't mimic it, but it's very similar in that capacity. So I would expect that she will perform quite well, and she's well versed in that atmosphere. I have no doubt she's going to, really add to the team this year.
Yep,
Definitely.
We got a sprinter. I saw a set he put down on Instagram a couple of days ago. Did you see that set, those 800 splits he did?
The one that memorizes Instagram.
But Ray posted the workout he did and his splits and his 800s and his 400s. I was like, oh my God. I just felt it.
Something a lot of people don't know about Zane is he is an amazing kicker with a board.
Kick skins?
Yeah.
Is that where it's at?
I'd put him up there with the best in the world at kicking.
Like what?
Yeah.
Example?
I don't remember. I just know that he's like a
faster
really
than
good
you.
kicker. Yeah. Yeah.
You just see me today.
Faster.
You just see me today.
Oh, yeah? Where are you going? Social kicks.
Yeah.
3 minutes?
Yeah.
All right, let's go up next. Zach Harting.
All right.
Solid.
Yeah, solid and obviously pretty versatile as well. And again, I keep saying, I know I'm being repetitive with this, but definitely what Caitlin and Cindy have told me about him is just a quality human being and a team leader. So again, really looking forward to meeting these guys. I just know that from last year, based on what they said, was he was willing to step into whatever role the team needed. And I mean, you can't ask for more than that.
That's wonderful.
Yeah, you kind of have to have that in this format.
Yeah, and like you're saying, having good people that are there for the team environment. I mean, if people are going out doing they're kind of restricted and test positive, I mean, that could be a big liability on the team. And I'm intrigued to see how the ISL does handle that if there are positive COVID tests and how that does, impact the league.
It'll be like the NBA or MLB.
Yeah, if they're going to sit out meets or what's going to happen.
They will definitely be quarantined. Absolutely.
Yeah.
They are. I mean, the safety protocols that the league has in place are very strict, and they are there to protect everybody. I mean, we are, not to go off on a tangent, but we have to be tested twice within 5 days, 48 hours apart before departure. And then when we get there within the first 4 days, we're tested twice as well. I mean, you're in the bubble. So in terms of kind of going out, you can't. You are on the island, you are at the hotels, obviously, and then you go and you train and you come back, and they are, when you go into the hotel, every time you are scanned and you are, they take your temperature and they're being very thorough. The staff at the hotels are tested every 5 days. It's like, it's not just kind of like they're doing, whatever. I mean, they're being very strict about this. They don't want anybody getting sick.
Let's go on a tangent here then, because how are you going to deal with the mental health aspect of that? Paul George talked about how hard it was mentally for him to continue that environment in Disney, your former workplace. Yeah, how hard is that? How's that going to be for you to maintain for 6 to 7 weeks this bubble, this lifestyle? It's not easy.
No, I can't imagine it will be easy. I just think that everybody has a purpose of why they're there. I mean, we're going to do activities with the athletes to obviously keep their mental health in a very positive way. I mean, you're not confined to the hotel. You do have Margaret Island, which is a 1.5 miles long, and there's things on the island to do. I think a lot of it is kind of, we have to wait and see. I mean, the country of Hungary is the best that I know right now. The borders are closed to foreigners. ISL was given an exemption based on their safety protocols. I believe there's another soccer league that is being given the same, leniency or same exceptions. But it's not like you get 3 strikes and you're out. It's you get one, you're out. So everybody has to take it very seriously in terms of the mental health. I mean, I will believe everyone's going to get into their routine after the first 4 days, and, obviously if there aren't spikes in cases and it is deemed, quote, safe, then I'm sure they'll relax them. But, initially their response is to take this very seriously. I think if you watched leading up to the US Open in Flushing Meadows recently, those athletes were in a bubble. And they all performed very well. And if you listen to the interviews, if you listen to Serena, they actually really liked it. So I'm going to do the best I can to spin this in a positive way and say that, there is a finite amount of time that we are there. It's not infinite. And, we're going to do the job at hand and have fun while we're doing it.
It's going to be interesting to see the level playing field that all these athletes now have, how that affects their as well. We see it in the NBA right now. We're going to see Miami potentially playing Denver in the NBA Finals. What? Right. Potentially, that's my hope, and because whatever. But it honestly, I think it has to do with a level playing field for a lot of reasons, a lot of stability and normalization of the standards. So the swimming, I don't know.
Totally different influences. I mean, big time. Like, I don't know, watching NFL kickers, struggle now or not struggle and be in an opposing stadium with no raucous crowd, even if they're in the opposing team's end zone. Like, the dynamics are totally different. So if you nail a game-winning kick right now, does that actually carry the same weight or significance that it might if you're, away, typically with a crowd? So, there may be some other elements that we see the best out of. I mean, shoot, everybody knows swimmers that were really great in practice and then couldn't show up for meets. So, I'm not suggesting that that's anybody who's participating in the ISL, but
you just don't know, right?
But certainly within that, I certainly won't point the finger at Margo or Ian, but thinking in that way, we're talking about like people that maybe we haven't seen the best of them. Maybe there's others on these rosters that maybe we haven't seen the best of, and part of that could be that it's the pressure of the environment. I mean, I know there were times that I was really impacted by the pressure of the environment, and it got the best of me. So maybe in this situation we'll see some different people rise to the top.
If you, again, I'll go back to the US Open, if you listen, I'm a big tennis fan and, watched, every round of the US Open. And if you listen to them, they would talk about the tennis players that always raised up because they fed off the energy of the crowd. So I'm sure you're going to have athletes that are going to not be able to feed off the energy of the crowd, and maybe they won't perform as well. But then, like you said, the flip side of that is, they're just getting up and performing in front of their friends and their teammates. It's like, to them, maybe it won't be a big deal. So you may be surprised by athletes that, like you said, haven't shown their best, but in this environment are able to perform because it's not the quote normal pressure or the same pressure. And so I don't know. I'm curious to see if they have a DJ there and how what role music plays in all of this.
Yeah, I mean, we've heard there's a decibel cap for the NFL. I don't know what the NBA is doing. Yeah, similar.
I think
But it's
audio,
like a constant monotone sound that they're playing. Yeah, I mean,
the NBA is.
But there's noise that they're fabricating, and maybe the ISL ought to do that. Just
Have you not heard
fan
Bob?
noise.
Bob, you can whistle the best of them, can't you?
No.
No, I could never whistle, coach.
I cannot. I can scream and yell with the best of them. My voice will carry with the best of them, but my whistle, no.
Some of those coaches on deck, man. Woo,
Oh,
woo.
sure.
So
Okay,
good.
here's
No, I don't have some weird idiosyncrasy when I yell, but trust me, the athletes can.
I want to know what the DC Trident team is doing to connect with the fan base back in DC.
Yeah.
Trying to use social media to the best of our ability to engage, everybody, and like you said, let everybody see the personality behind the athletes and kind of get to know them, a little bit better, or a little bit more. And I'm sure that as we get closer, you'll see more and more of that. And obviously, when we're over there, you'll do that. You'll see that as well too.
What do you think about? What do you think about that city or geographic affiliation of the teams? When we've got teams that are being assembled, it's a world team. You've got athletes that you haven't met or seen, and the GM and the head coach are the same way. And you don't train all together. You don't actually live in DC. You've at least been on the East Coast, but what do you think about that kind of format?
I honestly, I don't know. I think it's a little bit interesting. I'm not. I would be lying to tell you that I know what the kind of thought process was. I don't know if they just randomly picked cities. I don't know the history behind it. So, I know that obviously, like with Katie Ledecky this year, it was trying to get Katie on the team because she was from the DC area. But, looking at the roster, I don't see anybody that initially is on our roster is actually from the DC area. Maybe when they were kids, but certainly not as a home base right now, I don't think. So I don't know. I'm not sure. You see Cali Condor, the current tend to attract a lot of the California, the Cal Berkeley or the kids from there. So I don't know if it's a hodgepodge with DC Trident or not. I don't know how Caitlin got involved with that team. Happy to find out for you if you want to know.
Yeah, let us know.
Yeah, definitely interesting. I mean, we talked about how there's some city names. There's some, like the Cali Condors doesn't have a city associated with them. So it is interesting to see how
the Italians, the
Team Iron. I mean, a lot of them don't have cities. So it's interesting how it came about. But I know they said that the goal is to have, these teams training like a pro sports team all in one area. Do you think the ISL in swimming, I think in general, is ever going to get to that point where the pro league has gotten so big where all the athletes are coming together to train in that city?
Well, Ronaldo's not from Juventus.
No,
and he plays for Juventus, and Messi's not from Barcelona. So
other sports do it all the time. It's just, I know the CEO is saying that swimmers need to change their mindset, I think,
being more pro,
on how they can, acclimate to being on a pro team and what the sacrifices are to be on a pro team.
Yeah, I don't know. You have to remember that initially this year, the training camp and the performance was supposed to be in the Gold Coast in Australia. That was initially where it was supposed to be. So everybody was going to kind of come together under that umbrella in the sports or in the team environment, and to train, training camp first and then to perform. I know last year, obviously, there were meets held in different locations, not only in the United States, but throughout the world. This year, I don't know if that was an economic decision. I don't know if it just, got everybody together and created more of a culture where ISL as a group, I don't know, but I certainly know that they were trying to give it a kind of bigger identity this year, if you will.
Side note, I want to move on to the rest of the athletes before the light goes. He did training camp in the Gold Coast with Dennis Cottrell, and he didn't enjoy it, and it bummed me out. You didn't enjoy the Gold Coast, I should say.
No, I love the Gold Coast. I just didn't do anything.
You didn't do anything, but
I didn't
just
have a car. I was busy.
Yeah.
I wasn't with any native English speakers, so
You
I
want
was
that, that's
pretty
how-
landlocked there. But it's beautiful out there, that's for sure.
I'm going to go for the athletes because we're going to lose some light, and I don't know how good my super expensive, really professional lighting system is. So let's go on to Tristan. I'm going to run through these really quickly. Don't know Tristan, to be honest. English? Who is he from?
Wait, who is this?
Tristan HOLLARD.
Not on the list.
Not on your list.
New edition.
All
All right, moving on.
All right. Good luck.
Yeah, absolutely not on my.
All right. He
We
was.
love nice individual.
Are you sure he wasn't an Aussie who pulled out?
Maybe
I'll
it was
look it up.
Aussie.
I'll fact
Maybe it was
check.
Aussie that pulled out.
Fact check,
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah.
I think he was an Aussie.
Could be.
Robert?
Yeah,
Same.
yeah, Robert Howard.
Yeah.
Yeah, obviously Bobby. I believe he goes by Bobby. Bobby Howard, sprinter, Alabama. Again,
That's right.
he's a wonderful leader and a great athlete. You know, I'm really looking forward to meeting him.
Nice. Captain? Experienced? Been there? Done anything?
Yes.
Great. Yeah, and we all know Madison. Any notes on Madison before we move on?
I swam with Madison in 2012 at Team Elite. Yeah, she's great. Consistent. Very consistent.
Now, there's a reason why she was picked as the captain, right?
She seems like a good leader, man.
Yeah.
LINDSEY KOZELSKY.
Breaststroker, University of Minnesota, great speed.
Huh.
You know, a new addition this year to, I believe, the league, but also a new addition to DC Trident.
Minnesota's got quite the women's breaststroke history.
Big time.
Yeah.
Well, we also picked up Connor McHugh from Minnesota breaststroke as well.
Men's and women's then.
Tristan HOLLARD, Australian, so probably out.
All right.
Hey, I'm proud of myself for knowing that. Just
Yeah, no, we'll give it to you.
You just guessed. You're like, I don't know him on the list. Must be
no,
no.
actually,
You just
I
guessed.
didn't read everybody's bio, and I was like, okay, that name rings a bell.
But it's, yeah, I wish we knew more about the Aussie athletes like that level, to be honest.
That's a great
Yeah,
thing
they're
about.
out of the
Yeah, I mean, like we said, we learned a lot of the Aussies last year.
Yep.
So I
Yep.
think this is great for all of us, just as fans, to learn more about the international people and
Yeah,
give kind of a college feel.
You know, there's a good podcast called Off the Blocks podcast, and they focus on Aussie swimmers, and it's good to see what who they speak to and what they do.
Yeah.
Who is Drew? Don't know
Loy.
Drew.
Who is it?
Drew Loy.
Are you sure he wasn't an Aussie?
Another Aussie.
What list are you on, Luke? Come on
This
now.
is
I'll-
from,
I'll
okay,
fact
tell
check.
Caitlin to update her Instagram, because this is from the Instagram series.
I'm just looking. I'm looking at the roster that was sent to me 2 days ago. So-
Okay, see, that's why we have you on the show, and that's why we're not on the show.
He's not an Aussie. He's not an Aussie. He's a freestyler IMer at Ohio State. He's from Normal, Illinois. Normal,
I've been to Normal, Illinois.
You've been to Normal, Illinois.
Illinois State University's there.
Normal.
He's actually training with Greg Troy, from what I understand. Yeah, he's from Ohio State, and he was one of the later additions. And he just took over the Instagram account. 2 days ago, 3 days ago?
Oh, I did a takeover. I tried.
What?
Go ahead.
Yeah, this is State Farm headquarters is from Normal, Illinois. Go ahead.
Why do we know more about Normal, Illinois than
I did a film there. That's right. All right.
Can I take you to like trivia night with me or something?
I'm just a geek. All right, Lindsay and Mark, let's go.
From San Jose.
Is it?
Yep.
Alrighty.
Swam at Quicksilver. Swam at Osprey Aquatic, Willow Glen High School.
Well, look
A
in high
sprinter
school.
went to did she go to Willow Glen High School? They swim. Her club swims at Willow Glen High School. She swam at UCLA, so probably how she got involved with some of the team.
Yep.
Great
Yeah.
sprinter.
Or Cindy, yeah, Cindy.
Free and back. Yeah.
Yeah.
And fly. She's
Yeah.
pretty versatile.
Sweet.
All right. Who's next? Oh, you mentioned Connor.
You mentioned
McHugh.
Conda.
Nice pickup.
Yeah, pick up for breaststroker. Yeah,
Great.
quality guy.
Mark
Mark
Nikolaev.
Nikolaev.
Flyer.
Backstroker, right?
I don't know. We got a
Luke's
picture
just
of
going
him.
off the photo. Let's be honest. Let's be honest.
He's
We
the
don't know.
young man that's from Grand Canyon. He's a backstroker for out of Russia.
Cool.
Cool.
Yeah, if I remember correctly, I think I read on the Instagram he had he got third in the 100 back at NCAAs, and he had the fastest second 50 out of the field.
I like
Wow.
that. Well,
Good for short meters.
Yeah.
I don't know who this kid is. No idea. Got this on.
You sound like me going, I don't know.
Luke thinks Pebbly's a backstroker. All right.
Nah, that's a solid pickup right there. Good leader. You know, really good swimmer. Absolutely. He was there on the show. He was on last year, was he? Was Jacob on DC Trident?
I don't remember.
I don't remember
I
either.
don't think he was on Trident.
No, he wasn't.
He was on
He might have
current.
been on, current.
He's a new pickup this year.
Yeah, he was great.
All right. Kylie Perry.
Yeah, sprinter out of NC State.
I heard they can do some good sprinting down there, maybe.
Yeah. I think rumor.
Breaking news.
Yeah, again, obviously she'll add depth to the women's relays and to potentially to the skins. So, you know, excited to have her on board.
Yeah.
Not on our
Singapore, Sunga. Yeah.
Who is it?
She's from Singapore. She's from Singapore, isn't she?
Oh yeah, she actually, and she's from at UCLA with Cindy as well.
Yeah, she's brothers with I think a cow swimmer.
Oh yeah. Who's ripping it up?
Flyer.
Yeah.
Yeah, Pickett is a breaststroker from Australia.
Yeah.
So. Come on, Luke, come on. You just spent 5 minutes on this.
I did this on purpose to test him. I want to make sure he knows what he's talking about. You've passed the test, Bob. Congrats.
We all know we're just going to say they're from Australia.
Or Trinidad.
Or Trinidad.
We do have one training in the league. Okay, go ahead. Remedy rule.
Remedy rule. Swam at Texas.
Photo.
Carroll, Capitani. You know, 200 flyer, butter flyer.
Yeah.
Is that the first photo where they're holding a trident? Or like when did that happen?
She's invested.
I can tell.
It was in the photo shoot last year.
Yeah, I want to meet Remedy.
All right.
I don't get to see the photos that you guys are looking at.
Oh, really?
Oh, no, you're not seeing the
He might
photos.
be looking at
That's
the
why I
other
started saying
screen.
the
He might be
names.
looking at the other screen.
Yeah, I can't see them, but
He
I
might be
know.
at the other window.
Yeah, Remedy.
All right.
He said he tried it last year.
Okay, I'll call the names out next time. I'm sorry, Bob.
It's all good.
Mohammed Sami.
Yeah,
Israeli, right?
Yeah, by way of Egypt, swam at
Egypt, sorry.
Yeah, freestyler.
Nice. See a sprinter? I'm not familiar.
Don't know.
I believe his best event is the 200 free, so let's just go with mid distance. I'm sure he can sprint as well.
Yeah. Or he'll be requested to.
He will be requested to. If I look up on my cheat sheet, yeah, probably 200 free.
Yeah. Definitely will have some range there.
The coaches should carry a trident on deck, and if nobody goes fast, just poke them with it. Go fast.
Yeah, how about like in the college system, they chain people after like an interception. You trident a good swim, and they get a trident to carry around the rest of the meet.
You guys need props.
There
So
we
we
go.
No comment on that one. You need props.
We got Matias Santana.
Yeah, I'm going to be honest and say I don't know him. And,
Yeah, I'm not familiar
He's
with him.
very
No,
aquatic.
I know he's a Brazilian swimmer.
Yeah.
I know he's from Brazil. I know that it's his first year on the team, and I can't say that I know more than that. So I apologize for not having better knowledge with it.
It looks like he's. Let's see here. He's been on 100 freestyler. Been on some. Yeah, it looks like a sprinter.
Yeah, 1,500
guy.
I think he's been 22.7 short course, 24.1 long course, and it seems to be a sprinter. There you go.
Yeah, now you can see it. Sweet. Okay. I fixed it, Bob.
Yep.
Thank you, sir.
Now he's got to find a spot again.
So I
So
gotta find
the freestyle here.
There's Matthias, so you can see.
Okay.
You've been
Looks
missing
like
out
a
on the fun.
sprinter.
Go back to the trident photo. Holding the trident.
Let's go down to the trident photo. This is awesome.
There you go. She's the only one with the trident.
Look at her, ruler of the ocean.
Aqua woman right there.
Who's next? Oh, what did I do?
Oh, we're clicking
Get out
things.
Oh, No, I didn't. I didn't mean to. Get out of there. Okay, you're good, right? You're back.
I'm here.
All right. Sorry, guys. Sorry. This is the best podcast ever. We got Mohammed. We're going
We
down
know
to-
Muhammad. That's
Hi.
like.
All right, vice
Oh,
captain.
there we go.
Sweet.
There we go. So Giles, obviously, sprint freestyle, butterflyer, training with Bob Oman now at ASU. And again, I told you a story about his text, and seems like a really good guy.
Yeah, I can't wait to see how he performs this year, man.
Yeah.
That big move he did.
Do we think he's going to make the Olympic team? Hunter fly.
I think everybody's got a shot.
I mean, you got Dressel, you got Andrew. I mean,
I feel like that second spot's
It's
wide
open.
open.
it is,
Absolutely.
and he's been on the radar. He's been around. he seems to have been improving. I don't know. I'm intrigued to see if he can make that step.
Has his coach any good butterflies?
No, probably not.
Probably not. I can't think of anyone.
Yeah, nobody comes to mind anyway.
No, not at all.
I think he's had some flashes. We'll see if he can even do it at the big meet.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, all the best to the kid, man.
Yeah.
I think we're all rooting for him. Yep.
Hey, and also, as far as I know, in the last 2 years, he's continued to improve. I mean, he was
He has. That's
51, so there's no reason to think he can't continue to keep improving, especially in a new environment.
definitely.
Tom
Agreed.
wants to be in there again.
Yeah.
Yep.
Okay.
Anyway, all right, move on.
Big time. Tom definitely wants to be in there.
True.
Velimir Stepjanovic.
Yeah, I believe he's from Serbia. He was on the team last year. I don't know anything other than that, to be quite honest.
Breaststroker.
Knows how to swim. All right. Miranda Tucker.
I think it's interesting. They have a picture of her doing what?
Not Australia.
She's a breaststroker. Sprint breaststroker, started out at Indiana and then transferred to Michigan with Mike Bottom. And, it's done quite well for herself. Excited to get the opportunity to work with her.
That's the rust I pulled up. I know we're missing a couple of new ads, so forgive us, we haven't added. But let's just talk about this. The 2 of the 10 head coaches are women,
Yep.
Cindy and Mel. Cindy is again a repeat. I mean, a great coach in NCAAs.
So was Mel. She was on.
She was on last year as well.
Yeah,
Talk about Cindy and what she brings to the team for you, Bob.
First and foremost, I keep using these adjectives saying a quality individual. There's a reason why Cindy was at UCLA for over 30 years. Proven track record of success. She connects with the athletes. She's got a really great demeanor in terms of not getting, really kind of stressed out, or even if she is, she doesn't show it. I think she, gets the idea of trying to create the team environment that's kind of catered to everybody and trying to be inclusive and have fun. That was one of the things they said to her. She said to me when she first called and said, hey, look, we're all about trying to have fun, creating an environment where everybody wants to be there. And so, she's quite knowledgeable, and, she's not afraid to rely on her assistant coaches for anything. I keep saying, hey, give me more, or, let me know what I can do to help you out. And I'm just really looking forward to working with her. Like I said, I've known her for a really long time. I've known her where she's recruiting athletes that I've, worked with and coached. So it'll be fun to be on deck with her in terms of, and having the opportunity to learn from her. She didn't get where she is. She currently is. I don't mean retired. The success, but I look forward to the opportunity to learn from her.
Totally. And then you have Susan.
Teeter. Teeter is awesome. Just a great person. And, Teeter does a lot of professional coaching of other coaches. She does a lot with Women's Summit. And so I think by having her on the team, not only do you have somebody that was, a very successful D1 coach. I think Teeter was at Princeton for, Teeter, don't quote me, but 32 or 34 years. I don't know how many years she was the Ivy League Coach of the Year, but like I said, she's been doing a lot of professional coaching and trying to get coaches to be well-rounded. And I think she's going to be a great addition to creating the team environment that we want to see.
Bob, predictions. Who's the athlete in the race that's going to stand out the most during this ISL season?
Amy Bilquist, of course.
Boom.
In what race?
I'm going to go with Bilquist is going to do very well in the 100 back.
Is she going to break the world record? Is that what you're saying? You're calling it out?
I would never put a limit on what she is capable of.
I love that. Yeah.
Never.
Right.
Never. If you know Bilquist, she is a great swimmer, but she's a phenomenal athlete. But seriously, in all seriousness, obviously she swims for Scottsdale, so I'm going to prop her up. But if you look at the lineup, you could go through every athlete, the 15 guys or 15 women and 16 men, and you probably could pick something that they're going to excel at. And so I wouldn't be surprised with how anybody does.
Team predictions. Who's winning ISL this year?
I don't know. Based on paper, I would say that the team to beat is probably Energy Standard, right? I mean, Energy Standard has so many studs from Europe. I would have said that London Roar had a really great shot. Obviously, they were hit really hard with
everybody.
Big time.
Yeah, I think it'll be really interesting to see how Tokyo does. You know, Dave Salo is the head coach there, and what he is capable of doing with his athletes. But don't count out DC Tridents.
Where can people keep up with you in the lead up to and during ISL season?
Well, first and foremost, CBS Sports has signed a contract with ISL where they're going to be broadcasting all of the dual meets, all of them live. So I encourage everybody to follow CBS Sports. Obviously, our social media, you know, is going to be quite active. You can find that. And then I'm sure if you look on the social media for each individual athlete on the team, you're going to see them posting as well, and the coaching staff.
Well, we're expecting to follow you in a lot of IG lives when you're on Margaret Island. So do some cool stuff.
Definitely. Great island.
Yeah. Have you guys been there?
I've been there, yeah.
Yeah. I was there last summer, you know, and got to spend 3 weeks there last summer, which was really fun. And then coincidentally, the year before, I just happened to go to Budapest on vacation. So it'll be the third year in a row that I get to go there.
There you go.
Stay healthy, Bob. Thanks for hanging out with us. It's been a blast. That's it for this episode of Social.
Wait, I want to try them t-shirt or hat or something. We need some gear. Do we talk about we need some swag?
What's up, man?
Yeah.
Props. We want
about swag. I wear this. We can wear other stuff.
We can be an official DC Trident fan club.
I will do my best to hook you up. You need to send me your sizes.
I feel like we are. We had Margo. We had Bill Quist. Now we have Bob here. We got
Luke's a schmedium.
Okay. Yeah. What are you, Brian? You're going to be like a little crop top, right?
Yeah. Make it a tank.
a tankini for him.
Are you going to cut it and tie it down the side?
Let Goodrich pick it for him.
Okay. Hey, guys. Thank you so much.
Thanks so much, Bob.
Pleasure.
All right.
Thanks, Bob.